போக்கஸ் தமிழ் வழங்கும் கருத்து களம். சமூகம், அரசியல், வாழ்வியல் என அனைத்தும் பேசும் ஒரு களம், நேர்களுக்கான ஒரு தளம். கருத்து களம். வணக்கம் அன்பு தமிழ் உறவுகளை, மீண்டும் போக்கஸ் தமிழ் வானொலி ஊடாக இன்னும் ஒரு கருத்துக்களம் நிகழ்ச்சியோடு இணைகிறோம். இன்றைய கருத்துக்களம் நிகழ்ச்சி ஒரு சிறப்பு நிகழ்ச்சியாக எடுத்து வரப்பட இருக்கிறது என்பதை நேயர்களுக்கு அறிவித்திருக்கிறோம். இன்றைய நிகழ்ச்சி நாம் கடந்த சில வாரங்களாக பேசி வருகின்ற இலங்கையின் வடக்கு கிழக்கு பகுதியில் இருக்கக்கூடிய முதலீட்டு வாய்ப்புகள், அங்குள்ள திட்டமிட்ட அபிவிருத்தி வேலை திட்டங்கள் தொடர்பான தொடர் சந்திப்புகளில் ஒன்றாக இன்றைய நிகழ்ச்சியையும் நாம் எடுத்து வர இருக்கிறோம். இன்றைய நிகழ்ச்சியில் நம்மோடு திரு ஜெகன் அருளையா அவர்கள், ஒரு சமூக வணிக தொழில் முனைவோர் அவர்கள் கலந்து சிறப்பிக்கின்றார். அவருடனான இந்த சந்திப்பு அரங்கத்தை நம்மோடு இணைந்து தொகுத்து வழங்குவதற்காக திரு ராஜ் சிவநாதன் அவர்கள், WTSL உலக ஒருங்கிணைப்பாளர், கலந்து சிறப்பிக்கின்றார். அவருடன் நிகழ்ச்சியை தொகுத்து வழங்குவதற்காக சேகர் நடராஜா அவர்களும் நிகழ்ச்சியோடு இணைந்திருக்கிறார். அவர்கள் அனைவரையும் நிகழ்ச்சிக்குள் உள்வாங்கிக் கொள்ளலாம். அவர்களை இணைத்துக் கொண்டு நாம் நிகழ்ச்சிக்குள் பயணிக்க இருக்கிறோம். மூவருக்கும் வணக்கம். வணக்கம். குட் ஈவினிங் ஜெகன்.
குட் ஈவினிங் சேகர்.
குட் ஈவினிங். குட் ஈவினிங்.
இன்றைய நிகழ்ச்சியை நாம் ஜெகன் அவர்களுடனான இந்த சந்திப்பு அரங்கம் ஆங்கிலத்தில் இடம்பெற இருப்பதாக நான் நினைக்கிறேன். அந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை ஆகவே ராஜ் சிவநாதன் அவர்கள் தொடர்ச்சியாக சேகர் நடராஜாவுடன் இணைந்து இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை தொகுத்து உங்களுக்காக வழங்குவார்கள் என்பதை தெரிவித்துக் கொண்டு அவர்களுக்கு வழிவிட்டு ஒதுக்கிக் கொள்கின்றோம். நன்றி.
நன்றி சத்யபாலன். நன்றி. சேகர், நீங்கள் you wanted to start first, then I'll continue.
சத்யபாலன் சொன்னது போல, நாம் சில கிழமைகளாக எமது நாட்டில் ஒரு அபிவிருத்தியின் தேவையை நோக்காக கொண்டு முக்கிய பிரமுகர்களை பேட்டி காண்பதும் அது தொடர்பான உரையாடல்களை சமூகத்துக்கு கொண்டு வருவதுமாக இருக்கின்றோம். எமது நாட்டின் பல தேவைகள் இருக்கின்றன. ஆனாலும் நாங்கள் அரசியல், கலாச்சாரம், சமயம் என்ற எல்லாத்தையும் விடுத்து ஒரு அபிவிருத்தி என்ற ஒரு வட்டத்திற்குள் நின்று கலைப்போம். எல்லாமே ஒரு மக்களுக்கு தேவை என்றாலும் ஒவ்வொருத்தர் தன் பணியில் வேலை செய்தால் அது மிக சிறப்பாக இருக்கும். இன்றைய காலகட்டத்தில் எமது மக்களை எமது நாட்டில் வட மாகாணத்திலோ கிழக்கு மாகாணத்திலோ தக்க வைப்பதற்கு இன்று அபிவிருத்தி மிக முக்கியமான ஒரு பங்கை வகிக்கின்றது. அதற்காக பலர் கடுமையாக உழைக்கின்றார்கள். பலர் வெளிநாடுகளிலிருந்து வந்திருந்து அதற்கான பல முயற்சிகளை செய்கின்றார்கள். அதில் முக்கியமான ஒருவரான ஜெகன் அருளையா அவர்களின் பங்களிப்பை பற்றி இன்று கதைக்கக்கூடிய இருக்கும். நீங்கள் தொடருங்கள் ராஜ்வனா.
Thank you. Just wanted to explain what Seher has explained in English to Jahan to understand. Tonight's program will focus on introducing the role and impact of the global connectivity and development in the northern region. We will highlight the key success stories and ongoing initiatives that are driving sustainable development. This program aims to inspire greater participation in the global connectivity network, encouraging individuals like Jahan and organizations to come forward, collaborate, and contribute to the long-term economic growth of the North. And please join us. We explore how collective engagement can strengthen regional development and support sustained GDP growth. Thank you very much, Jahan, for joining us to this program. I know it is a short notice and that you agree to part with us today with your schedule that I know you are planning to go overseas and things like that, and also you have a meeting schedule after this. So we will stick to that all the questions that I have already indicated what we can talk about, so that we won't waste a lot of time. And also we will give the listeners to ask questions once we talk about 45 minutes. And then if you are able to stay for a few minutes, then we'll allow the listeners to ask some few questions. Until such time, myself and Sherga, we will blast with the questions that you'll answer for it.
Yeah,
okay?
Sure. So
can you hear us, Jan, properly? I know you have some issue with the network. Are you okay with that?
No, everything is good. Everything is working.
Okay. What I'm going to it's the introduction, because of the listeners. A lot of people may not know about Jahan. I'm just going to give the introduction about yourself that I gathered, and I know we have met during the summit, NIS summit time. So what I'll do a small introduction about yourself, so that people will aware of our discussion today. Just a sec. Where's my? Okay. I'd like to make do an introduction about Jahan. Today we are honored to have with us Mr. Jahan Arulaya, a distinguished global Tamil professional, born in Sri Lanka, left when he was 2 years of age, raised in London, and graduate of Cambridge University in 1986. Mr. Arulaya has built an impressive career as a veteran IT professional. Beyond his technical expertise, he is widely recognized as an investor, investment strategist, and entrepreneurship coach. With a strong focus on the economic revival of northern Sri Lanka. Over the years, he has played a vital role in building bridges between the Tamil diaspora and the homeland, encouraging meaningful engagement and investment to foster the sustainable development, peace, and unity through the shared prosperity. Since relocating to Jaffna 2015, he has been actively contributing on the ground, not only as a practitioner, but also as a thought leader, writer, and advocate for northern economic transformation. So, on that basis, Jahan, I'd like to put our questions on the personal journey and motivation. Can you please let us know to our listeners about yourself and your journey from Sri Lanka to London and eventually to Jaffna? You were well established in the United Kingdom. What motivated your decision to relocate and settle in Jaffna in 2050? Looking back, was it a worthwhile decision? Can you? Did I throw the question?
No,
okay, thank you.
That was a good question. So I was born in Sri Lanka, and I went, as you say, I went to the UK when I was a baby. I was 2 years old, and I was fully educated there. I went to school. I went to Cambridge. I took a degree in sciences, natural sciences, and I went into the IT industry. Although I have no real memories, I have no memories of Sri Lanka from when I was there. I've also always felt some kind of a pull back, and it's not something I can explain. So I found an opportunity with a British company that was offshoring software development to Colombo, and I went to Colombo in 1993. And there I met a young lady, and we were married. So we were. This is the way Sri Lankans go. They get registered and then they get married. So we were registered in 94, married in 95, and we had a son in 96. In 2000, we decided to move back to London, to the UK. In 2013, she passed away. So she had pulmonary fibrosis. So from an early age, she had juvenile arthritis. So she was 40 years old when she passed away. and my son was 16. So when my son went to university in 2015, I had lost my responsibilities, and this pull caught me again. So I reinvented myself. I left my son at university and got on a plane and went back to Jaffna. Now, as I said earlier, I always say I went back, but there's no back about it because I'd never been there before. I'd been there for a few weeks. I had no family in Jaffna. I have no friends in Jaffna. But I suppose it's part of my personality that I do not worry about being alone. It's not a problem for me. I mean, now I have many friends in Jaffna, so I also do build up those relationships. So in 2015, I came back to Jaffna. There was some ancestral land on Ramanathan Road, which is also known as Campus Road. It's the same road that the Jaffna University is on. Now, my ancestors bought the land long before Jaffna University was ever there. But it was a very lucky place where we bought the land. So I put up a building. The building is about 12,000 square feet. My mother, my brother, sister, and I invested our money. And now there are 3 software companies, one from Australia, one from United States, one from the UK. There is a Canadian NGO. There is another Canadian charity. There's a restaurant on the ground floor. And
Yes,
there's
I have been to that place, Jahan. It was a nice setup that you have in that place. And I saw those 2-3 companies. One of the companies that I know, a friend of mine from UK, Sasivan, that he also attached to Nulagam. So
Yes.
I spent some time with him and almost a half a day. And that was the one of the IT company I was there too. Yeah, I know your building. It was a very nice building. It's a good investment. Yes. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Yeah, thanks.
No, please feel free whenever you want to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was my anchor project. The first 2 or 3
Yes.
years, that was my focus. And I think without an anchor project, I wouldn't have stayed because it's very difficult to get anything done in Jaffna. So because I had my family land and family investment and my energy was there, slowly I was building up other relationships. And my focus from the beginning has always been on economic development in the north. So I wanted to find out about MSMEs, micro, small, medium enterprises, find out what they were doing and how to build a link between them and the diaspora. So I've worked with the provincial council, with the governor, with the chambers of commerce. My background is in IT, but I've also been involved with tourism, agriculture, and in particular, one sector I'm interested in is the arts. Now, I have no artistic talent, but I know what I like. And so I've been working with this group called the Jaffna Artist Forum. It's just a very small group, 5 people. And we're promoting performance art and fine art. So one of the things that we've started is a monthly open mic. So basically a monthly show. And the purpose of the show is actually to build the confidence of the people in Jaffna. I'm sure you've all been to meetings in Jaffna. Nobody says a word. So when the speaker says, "And do you have any questions?" Silence. It's not because they don't have questions, but they don't have the confidence to ask them. So there are so many reasons for performance, promoting performance. And also there's huge artistic talent in the north, but it can't survive because it can't sell anything. Unless the artists can sell their sculptures, beautiful sculptures, fiberglass sculptures, or their paintings, they have to give up. So I do what I can. I buy a few pieces, but I try and publicize, like I'm doing now on this show. In this show, I'm publicizing that
Yeah.
these. So that I'm involved in a very wide range of things, and that's how I took the journey as a baby to London. Came back at about in my late 20s, married a girl,
Mhm.
had a son, went back. By the tragedy of her passing away, I found myself back in Japan.
Thank you, Jehan. Thank you for your introduction, and sorry to hear some of your history as well. And the other thing, the second section of the discussion, I'd like to ask you about this question in regarding the perspective of Sri Lanka and the North. And how do you see Sri Lanka today, both as a nation and its people? More specifically, how do you view the northern region and its current situation and the development side of it?
So I've lived outside Sri Lanka. I lived in London for a large part of my life. I started my career there. And what I've seen is that Sri Lankans are highly successful people,
Mm-hmm.
except Sri Lanka.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the evidence. Sri Lanka is a poor country. If you live in Colombo, if you're in the Colombo elite, and I'm part of the Colombo elite, as well as a Londoner and a Jaffna. I have 3 feet. 1 foot is in Jaffna, 1 foot is in Colombo, 1 foot is in London. If you're in the elite, you live very well. But overall, it's a poor country. And when you move outside Colombo and the Western Province, and I'm not only talking about the north, I'm talking about Monoragala, I'm talking about the southern Sinhalese areas. They're poor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say that Sri Lankans do very well everywhere, but not in Sri Lanka.
Not in Sri Lanka.
And what is the reason for that? What I think is that Sri Lanka never stopped being a feudal country.
Mm-hmm.
So even after independence, there's an arrogance of power that people got away with whatever they could get away with. We've had the curse here of corruption and violence, which is often politically instigated. You look at the history, and every few years there would be an anti-Tamil riot. There was similar violence with the JVP. We had the decades-long civil war. We squandered our ability, we squandered our assets, basically because we were running after political demagogues. And until we can stop doing that, we won't emerge. Now, I have no political allegiances, but what I would say is that the NPP government was a huge change, a huge and surprising change. And what I've seen, I lived in Colombo in the 90s, in the middle of the war. And I've lived in Colombo since 2015. In Colombo, there's no fear anymore.
That's good.
And that makes a huge change to the attitude of the people, the willingness of the people to try hard. And why do the people want to work hard if they feel that the fruits of their labors go to some corrupt minority? But it still has to be recognized that corruption doesn't just disappear. From what I've seen, corruption at the political top has been brought under control, but at all levels below that, they are so used to it. Their livelihoods depend on corruption. That it's going to take time for that to be washed out.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'll ask one more question, Sergey. Then I'll leave it with you.
Yes.
Tell me, Jahan, what is the main focus of your work today? If I put you if in a nutshell, what can you say about your focus today in Northern? Especially, I'm asking this question to the Northern. What are you focusing as it today for? Maybe you have any program that you have developing in the future. And because you've been already described as a commercial entrepreneur, so I'll just put this question for the how these people are recognizing in this way. How did you earn this recognition as a the social and commercial entrepreneur, so that you might have some idea that you're going to do it in Northern in next mission. Please describe your plans.
Yeah, so I would say that my focus is my overall focus is on MSME development.
Okay.
But to do that, one of the things that has to happen is we need to change the perception of the North.
Mm-hmm.
So what I found is even among the Tamil diaspora, and when I say the diaspora, I mean anybody outside the Northern Province. So the Colombo Tamils are also more or less diaspora. But their perception of the North is that the young people are drunk, that they're taking drugs, that they're living on remittances. Their perception of the North is it's a dangerous place, that the military is still everywhere. You'll find so none of this is true. And you ask them, when have you last been there? Many of them haven't been there in 10 years and they have these opinions. Some of them haven't been there in 30 years. And the problem is they're all listening to each other. This echo chamber of people outside without coming to see themselves. It is very safe to come. What you will find is the North is actually not dangerous. It is boring.
It's boring, yes.
Because there's nothing much happening here.
Yeah.
Unless I create my own activities. I could be in Colombo and create nothing. And I would spend lots of money and I'd go to the Japanese and I'd go to the fancy shopping malls. Everything would be there for me. The same if I go to Paris. I don't need to do anything. I just walk in there. Things are there to do. Or London. But in Japan, you need to create the things for you to do. So the first thing I would have to do is change the perception. And I do that with my writing. The next thing I'd focus on is that there are businesses going on in the Northern Province which are suffering from lack of investment because they don't have money. They don't have access to finance. For example, if you look at the Bunny area, where all the land is permit land. So I don't know if your listeners will immediately know what permit land is, but basically it is government land that has been leased on a hereditary basis to families. So that lease is passed down when the parents pass away. They give that lease to their children, and that can go on forever. But it doesn't belong to them. That means that they can't borrow money. The banks won't lend them money. So there's an issue with access to capital. There's an issue with access to the markets. The people in the North are, as they say, the frogs in the well. They don't know what the latest trends are. Sorry, there's a train going by where I'm sitting there. It's a train.
Okay, so you are saying that they don't have a outside knowledge.
Yeah, they lack outside knowledge.
It's okay. I can hear you now.
Okay, I want to mention you because of you said that the people who love art, they don't have a market or something. But I noticed that when it comes to art, the mostly religious places are the marketplace. They buy a lot of artworks and the artistic people mainly engage with religious things and dramas and some cinemas areas. Not like European Western countries, they don't buy some pictures or statues and put it in their house. In the public areas, people spend a lot of money.
Yes, but that is true.
That,
What our artists need, even Van Gogh, the famous European artist, he was in poverty. Mozart was in poverty. Our artists need to be able to sell their art to people like you and me. You know, I know that there's art here that a businessman in London would love to have. An estate agent in London would love to have one of these beautiful statues and would pay hundreds of pounds for it. But we don't have that connection. So that if we had some way to link the customer and the producer, that would make a fantastic difference.
Yeah, that could be the new venture area, because Tamils living in foreign countries, diasporas, they want to buy statues and everything. So you have to connect the local people to the diaspora people.
Yes.
Like connectivity is an important thing to market their product. Yes, I want another question when you're talking about our conflict and everything. After 3 decades of conflict, what do you believe Sri Lankan society should prioritize moving forward? We should.
So there's a lot of talk about reconciliation, and I know that this is a question coming up later. But maybe we should look at it now, Raj, if with your permission.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
So reconciliation has become a political industry. You know, what does reconciliation mean? What we see is politicians having talks with each other, trying to reconcile with each other. Now, when I meet the people in Jaffna, there are people who suffered tragedies, and that reconciliation is going to come from inside them. Nobody is ever going to go to the people who lost their daughter or their mother and say, it's all right, stop worrying about it. You know, even when you lose, when I lost my wife, this is something that I have to become reconciled with, but that's something inside me. There are other important things, like we should allow memorialization. In the North, we are not allowed to have memorials to the people who fought on the Tamil side. That should be allowed. There are other issues which are nothing to do with reconciliation. But what the country should do is first escape from the corruption. Our problem before the NPP government, and I don't know if the NPP government will prove to be better, but the problem before was the governments seemed to want chaos, because that's how they got their power and that's how they made their money. And we need to move away from chaos. Now, even now, we saw anti-Muslim riots. Quite frankly, we haven't seen, since the end of the war, we haven't seen any anti-Tamil riots. But we've seen anti-Muslim riots because the politicians want to still see that as their trump card. You know, if we had a government that has moved away from there, that moves towards real democracy, that moves towards real economic development, creating opportunities. You know, I think it is true to say that Sri Lanka has everything in terms of human capital, because we see how well our people do when they are not in Sri Lanka. And it has everything in terms of natural assets. It is a beautiful country. We have the south, we have the hill country, we have the north. All of them are different in such a small island. How would we manage to be so poor? It's the 80th anniversary of our independence in 2 years' time. I would say our politicians have a lot to answer for. 80 years of value subtraction.
Yes.
And now this is
Yeah.
the time we need to turn that around.
So you're trying to say that the politicians, they prioritize their political survival, they created racial tension, and that's create the problem. So for us to should prioritize moving forward, we have to create a harmony between all the societies. We have to forget about racial issues and bring harmony.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in my experience, my good friends are Tamils, are Sinhalese. I have good friends, English. They're actually not sitting there worrying about ethnic stuff. It takes someone to come in and light a fire. And whether it's Nazi Germany or whether it's 1983 in Colombo, it takes 100 guerrillas and they can destroy a whole nation because most of the people are too scared to do anything. The same, I'd give the comparison of Germany. The Germans produced Beethoven and Bach. They're such a cultured nation, Goethe, and they also produced the Nazis. So we should understand, first thing, that this kind of ethnic hate is not a Sri Lankan thing. It is generated by politicians for their personal benefit.
Yes. Okay, right.
Thank you. Thank you, Jahan. I think you have covered our main topics as well about reconciliation and the current political system, and then what we can do within that, how we can go about this development and things like that. Look, I also like to talk about the recent our Northern Investment Summit that recently took place on the 21st and 22nd, and noticing that you were closely associated with the Northern Investment Summit as an observer and a feedback consultant. Could you share your overall impression of the event? In your view, how significant is NIS 26 for the future economic development of Northern Sri Lanka? What were the key strengths of the summit, and where do you see room for improvements? Do you believe in NIS 26 has successfully engaged the Tamil diaspora and international investors? What more can be done to convert interest into actual investment? From your perspective, what should be the immediate next steps following NIS 26 to ensure continuity and the tangible outcomes? How can initiatives like NIS 26 contribute towards a long-term peace, stability, and economic empowerment in the North and East? I think I put a lot of questions into one. Maybe it's easy for you to give us your feedback. Thank you.
I was, first thing I would say is that NIS 26 was a fuse. So they lit a fuse. But the actual fire must come from the north. And it must come from the Tamils, the diaspora. NIS 26 was a very impressive show for what it was. I've known some of the organizers. It was organized by the Management Club, which has been in Colombo for 25 years. I mean, my own father-in-law, Segar Nagendra, was one of the founders 25 years ago, but it never went beyond Colombo.
Correct.
About 2 or 3 years ago, they opened a Jaffna chapter.
Yes. And I'm also one of the part of the TMC Jaffna and the TMC Colombo, and I'm a platinum member. Jaffna manages forum, so you know our good friend Naranjan Vivekanandan.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
But in the past, so I've been here 10 years, and I've seen the World Bank come, and I've seen the ADB come, and I've seen the various high commissioners and embassies come. And I've seen the Sri Lanka Tourism Board come, and none of them were serious. They were ticking boxes. They noticed that no one had been to Jaffna for a whole year. We better go. And so they would come up, Mannar, Jaffna, Mulativu, and then go home. For the first time, we saw the chairman of top BOI, of EDB, of NEDA. They came themselves. They didn't send their deputy or their secretary. They came themselves. We saw top ministers. We saw the Minister of Justice, and you'll have to forgive me if I forget their names.
Ashina Nanayakara.
Harsha Nanayakara and Sunil Handaneti.
And the another technology and science minister, is one of the professor. The name is not ticking me at the moment. And also Fisheries Minister Chandrasekharan came, and some few deputies also came. Yeah.
Yes. So what we've done is we've opened their eyes. But to have open eyes, you need something to see. And it's up to us Tamils, and that includes the diaspora Tamils who are interested in investing, to move this on. And as I've said, there are a number of things that can be done. First thing is to make our small businesses investment ready. So what that means is we have some wonderful businesses here. Just 3 or 4 days ago, I visited, I mean, some of you may follow my Facebook. My Facebook, you hardly ever see me, but you'll see stories about businesses and other activities going on. So I visited this guy who was making drums. So the temple drums. They're beautiful. You take a length of jack tree, a whole length of a jack tree trunk, and then you carve it and contour it and hollow it out and polish it. It is beautiful. And this guy, he's selling these things for about £100. I think that they're worth more. I think that if you sell them in Toronto or London or Melbourne, you'll get a much better price for it. And I was saying to him, and again, another sad thing there is his son is going to be a computer expert, his daughter is a microbiologist, and there's no succession plan there. But there are business like that, to become investor ready, they need to be incorporated. They need to have 2 or 3, at least 3 years of audited accounts. So they need to be able to show their TRIB report. There are many things that an investor will want to look at.
So the thing is, when you're talking about these drum makers, the price is high in Melbourne, but the thing is the transportation, the tax, and if you are selling some product, you need a shop and everything. The administrative cost for the shop is around 30% of the product cost or something. So when you add on everything, it's going to be much higher. So
No, I understand that. I understand that. The question is, what is the market in Melbourne prepared to pay?
Mm.
And are there other more efficient ways of delivering? So, for example, like Alibaba,
Mm.
so a direct link from the producer to the buyer. And
Buyer.
yes, the buyer will need to buy 10 and sell 9 of them. But there will be commercial ways by people cleverer than me who can work those out.
Okay, we had to expand Alibaba to Jaffna, is it? We had to help people to. Huh?
We'll have our own Alibaba. We should create our own method. You know, say someone like one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Jaffna is my good friend Sugandhan, and he's set up a company called VSS Distributors, and he's getting arak and toddy, and he's getting Palmyra products and
Yeah,
chili powder.
yeah, I know Suhandan very well. I've also spoke to him. Probably I'll be bringing him next fortnight time to explore his talent in Jaffna. He's a real good investor. He's from Canada, but he's settled in Jaffna. He's doing a fantastic, Palmyra products export, and he's one of the good investor, a successful investor.
Yeah.
And also
so he's an example.
Yeah, exactly.
He shows what's possible. Now he's sending 40-foot containers out to Jaffna.
Yes.
I believe he sent the first 40-foot container out to Jaffna 2 or 3 years ago.
In fact, I spoke to him a few days ago. I told him that you are coming to this program, so I booked him for next week. So that's good that you mentioned about him. So after we
very
see the
good
program,
choice.
he's definitely coming in.
Very good.
Oh, go ahead.
But if he can be exporting,
Yes.
many hundreds of liters of toddy, there's no reason why we shouldn't be exporting other northern products. But coming back to the point, making our businesses invest already, but also making the investors understand what it is to invest in our businesses. And one thing that the investors need to be prepared for is if their objective is to make money, don't come to Jaffna.
But then people, you are scaring of all the investors.
No, not at all, because a lot of investors have other objectives. I know I advise investors, some of whom have put hundreds of thousands of dollars. Any money they make, they donate. They don't take a rupee out of the North.
Because they do
There
the
are
wrong.
so many people. Sorry, there are so many people who are putting thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in to set up IT labs, and then the IT lab isn't functioning. There's a lot of equipment that's been to rice mills, and the equipment isn't functioning. Why isn't it functioning? IT labs are great, but of no use if you don't have good IT teachers. To have a good IT teacher, you need to pay them. So you have to have working capital. It's not just send $10,000, put the computers and walk away.
Yeah.
I visited a rice mill, and they had rice milling machines doing nothing. And I was asking them why, and they said working capital. If they have the capacity to mill double the amount of rice, they need to have the working capital to buy double the amount of paddy. So there are various things like this. The investors need to be educated. The enterprises need to be educated. And one of the things that I'm working on is a project with a couple of people. Some are very well known. I haven't asked their permission, so I won't name them. To put together an organization that will educate and link these enterprises and these investors. It's not only investors, it's business partners. because there are products that are being made here that can go into the supply chain of businesses. There are also skills here that are not being used properly. And I will give you an example. In my opinion, and I will get into a lot of trouble for saying this, handicraft is a dead end. Teaching the ladies how, you know, there's a limited market for handicrafts. And all this business about being entrepreneurs and teaching more and more people to do the same thing, all it does is it keeps them in poverty. But there are other things that, with the skills that the ladies have with their nimble fingers. So assembling electronic components, building drones. So drones have got a high profile now because of the wars. But drones, you also have agricultural drones that can go around, intelligent Internet of Things drones that can go around and find where the insecticide needs to be sprayed, where the issues are, over 50 acres of paddy or 50 acres of sesame or of orchards of mangoes. So there's this kind of technology that could be brought in. You know, I know that we value our traditions and our kuchu dancing and temples and stuff like that. But that's not a way to improve the economy. You know, I sit in my building, and I look out and I see the young people going up and down because I'm on the university road. And I'm thinking to myself, what do these young people have to look forward to except to get out? Get out of Jaffna, look for opportunities in Colombo, look for opportunities in Toronto. If a young person comes and asks me, what should I do? I will say, go. And I will say to them, please come back. Learn your trade, make your contacts. Please come back. I know they won't.
They won't. Okay, there's an answer for that in your speech. You say the reason people are leaving Jaffna, the reason it's a boring place. Like you said in earlier, if you go to London or Paris, you have something to do. But when you're in Jaffna, you have nothing to do. And another things, people want to go to best school and best universities and everything. Most of them are in Colombo, not in Jaffna. That's all the reason. How we can change that one, do you think?
Well, one thing I'd say is the reason people are leaving is not because it's boring. It's because there's no opportunity.
No,
So there's no opportunity.
ownership.
No opportunity to find entertainment, but also no opportunity to find a good job that will give you a career path, that will allow you to bring up your kids in comfort. I think that the one exception is the IT sector. And when I look at Yarl IT Hub, that has been very successful. There are many companies, Aptimus Tech, 3-Axis Labs, Arogia. They started off with the Yarl IT, the Yarl Geek Challenge. I haven't seen another industry that is incubating this kind of opportunity in the north. And I think that if we could have that, then that would make a big difference. So the problem in the north is no opportunity, from career opportunity to entertainment opportunity.
Okay, I think there's something to do with our foreign diaspora's thinking issues. They think when they come to Jaffna, the people have to work for nothing or volunteering or helping. Then they're paying a good salary. For example, if you go to Colombo, they can make $200,000-300,000 a month. If you pay the same amount in Jaffna, the problem will be solved. But our people are stingy in that. They don't want to pay the Jaffna people, isn't it?
Yes, that is true.
That's a big problem.
And the diaspora think that in Jaffna, 50,000 rupees is a lot of money.
Yeah, that is not.
So
that's not
even for a manager, so in the IT sector, the salaries are better. It was a direct competition with Colombo and
Yes.
direct competition with working directly for clients overseas.
Mm.
But in any other sector, the perception is that if you're paying someone 100,000 rupees, 100,000 rupees is £250.
Nothing.
You're overpaying them. So Sega, you're absolutely right
Yes.
that there is this perception.
Yeah, they don't treat the employees the right way. Yes. And
Yeah.
for us to change everything, the politicians have to come up with the initiative. Okay, in your view, what should Sri Lankan politicians should focus on, particularly in the term of meaningful policy initiatives to accommodate those things? Mainly,
Okay, no, what the Sri Lankan politicians should focus on is on themselves.
Mm.
Because the Sri Lankan politicians need to clean themselves up. Now, NPP came in,
Mm.
the other parties were booted out, but I have seen hardly any, if any, change in those other parties. What I've seen is that these other parties are just waiting there, hoping that the NPP will make a huge mistake and they can come back, and you have the same people there. So what I would say is the younger politicians should have the guts to go in there and clean up their party. We have a problem, including in the Tamil parties, that everybody waits for the leader to die.
that's the biggest problem.
And it's true in the southern parties as well. You know, they have the family inheriting the party. But you can see capable politicians in the Tamil parties and in the southern parties, but they're just waiting there. I mean, for goodness sake. So these people, if they love the country, they should go in and they should clean up their party, clean up the way that they operate, and help cleaning up the whole bureaucracy, coming down from the minister down to the clerk, who won't pass your paper on when you're applying for some position or some permission, applying for some permission to do some work in your agricultural field or on your building. He won't pass it on unless you give him some money. So that, but also that means you need to pay them properly. So you need to pay the clerk properly so he can live on his salary and doesn't need corruption to live. And you have to pay the cop properly, and even the ministers, as Lee Kuan Yew said, he paid his ministers very well.
They are the
One finger wrong.
politicians are the highest paid in the world. Singapore politicians.
But they know that if they put one finger wrong, then they go to jail.
Yeah.
And we need that kind of ethos here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we almost coming to an hour. I know Jehan is a busy person, and just in the final question I wanted to ask you, in the current climate in the world situation, do you believe that the northern region is going to be the more emerging as a viable, promising place in the future, and for the future diaspora investment? And I'm just coming back to the investment side of it and the safest place. What do you believe in that contest? Because
yes, I do.
Global, yes. So
and I'll tell you,
and also, do you want to say to that second and third generation of our diaspora? Because for me and for us, we are the first generation diaspora came and settled in, very well. And they should look at it as you are the one of the success, and you are not thinking going back. So I mean, your success story and storytelling is very important for our second and third generation. For an example, our children, even not only that, our first generation also now thinking, they think that they don't need to come to northern, and we are belong to Canadian, or we are belong to British, or we are belong to Australian, but that is also stopping the second and third generation to think about and develop the country. So on that perspective, please conclude your real, you know, your plan of action for to pass the message to all the diaspora in the world and also the investors, how we can bring back our culture and dignity of northern and eastern Sri Lanka, because at the moment the population is diminishing, and we have a lot of land mass that hasn't been utilized properly. And now we are 25% of the Sri Lanka, but still the 15% of the land mass is just empty, and the people are leaving. So just want you to say the final conclusion, so that the message should reach everybody, and why also that and the investment summit, that is very important for those people who are thinking it. And at the same time, through the investment NIS program, that there's some digital portal, and so many that one-stop shop is coming into for their developments to be easier in future. And there are think tank team like yourself, and there are chamber of commerces that you coming united as a federation to help all the investors. That we are looking into ASC connectivity, and all those things are there. They're leaving the politics and making the development. I think that I feel that actually I'm also the frequent traveler and doing some projects in Sri Lanka, in the east and the north, and I have no negative thinking. That is the reason that we planning to go through our Focus Tamil. This radio is a live broadcast, and also a recorded program that every one of us, and one of them that looking at this program, at least we can give some sort of a confidence back into our community and get our culture back and the dignity back. So I like to conclude that in your perspective. Thank you, Jahan. Go ahead.
Okay, so I know there are only a couple of minutes left. So what I'm going to focus on is there is a huge opportunity in the north. We have huge, vast agricultural assets. For tourism, we have islands here. I've been with Sugandhan on his boat around these islands. They're beautiful. They're fantastic. We have a population who prove their ability everywhere except here. So they prove their ability in Toronto, Melbourne, Sydney, everywhere, but not in Sri Lanka. And I don't know why that is. But there's a saying in science, nature abhors a vacuum. So what that means is that when something is empty, it will be filled.
Yeah.
The opportunity in the north will be filled. But if we don't do it, somebody else will do it. So we may find the people from the south, we may find the Indians, the Chinese. Somebody will do it, and then we will all be there complaining about it.
Exactly. This is what we are trying to do.
What I say is that the opportunity is here, and it is now, because the diaspora, as they get older, are losing interest.
Exactly.
The next generation, the one thing about us Sri Lankans is we become very successfully, we become British, we become Australian, we become Canadians and Americans. Even you look at me, close your eyes, I'm a white man. If you just listen to my talking.
Exactly.
The people, the few people who are interested in investing in the North, they need to do it. Because if they don't, somebody else will. And from my perspective, I want opportunity for the people of the North. And if the Chinese come or the Southerners, I don't care. I just want that opportunity to be created.
Thank you, Jahan.
Thank you very much.
For
Thank you very much, Jagan.
Satyabalan,
Yeah.
I know that you haven't asked any question.
No, because of you, because you put in one question is everything, and so I couldn't go further to ask any question. But I have one thing to I would like to ask Jan that you have a different, a unique type of business and investor. What do you think about other opportunities? What are the what other opportunities they have, like entertainment enterprises or advertisement companies or something fashion type of business? Do you have any in the future any future for these industries in Jaffna, or the cultural background and those things are make a barrier for all these type of business?
Yeah, there's no cultural barriers, but you need to find a market that has money. And currently the Jaffna market doesn't have any money. So first we need to build an industry that's earning money, and the money's in Colombo and is in Toronto. So that means delivering services, maybe IT services. There is a new company, quite a new company. I'm trying to remember its name, Zenzo, I think. It's a Jaffna company. You won't believe it. It operates out of a garage, not a huge garage, a garage that you can put in a medium-sized car. And they got the John Keel's contract for the launch of John Keel's, for New Look, for Uber. A company like that can deliver services anywhere. So to start off with, marketing, we can deliver services anywhere.
Okay.
So first we have to look for our clients outside the north. Then when our people start getting rich, then we can start getting them to buy stuff.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for your acceptance to come to our radio and Facebook Live. It was very giving very confident for other diaspora people to come back to Jaffna, and they can invest, and they can looking other opportunities to invest their money there. I think you are a good example and good how to say, is a good businessman to stay in Jaffna and continues commit to our community. Thank you for your time, and thanks for your coming to our radio. I think we concluded the interview with Jagan now.
It's a nice interview. Yes, you give your perspective. The thing is how Jaffna businesses can develop. And I think in the future we have to write problem solving issues, try to find some problems and list it and try to find the answer for it. And that will help us to explain to the diaspora who want to invest there, because they don't put capital enough capital to run the business. Running capital is not there. They start a business without running capital. They don't pay salary. They don't identify the proper people to bring it from outside. So many things, it's not happening. So if we find out and we list the things with your help and everybody, we can explain to the new investors what are the problem we are facing, how we can find the solution for it, how we can build a network, how we can build an investor's problem, like that. I think you are the key person to develop this one, the issues.
One thing I would encourage, come and see for yourself. Come and spend 1 week, have a good time. There are some nice hotels here, but see for yourself.
Okay.
That's a real good point. Yes.
Of course, I have been there, but end of the day, if you meet the correct people, you can understand the issue.
Sorry, Sega, I didn't mean that about you. I meant that about whoever watches this.
Oh, everybody have to come. Yeah.
Come.
Come to Jaffna. Welcome to the Jaffna. That we can build a new Jaffna in whatever we dream about.
Come to Jaffna and meet Jagan. Then he can help us. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jagan.
Thank you, Jagan, for the time and a safe journey, and we will keep in touch. Thank you for the contribution you have given. I think it is a valuable interview today, and I know that we will run for another half an hour. I will let you go for your next meeting. I know you are a busy man. Thank you. We'll catch up another day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
ஆம் நேர்கள் இதுவரை கருத்துக்களம் நிகழ்ச்சியில் திரு ஜெகன் அருளையா அவர்கள் சமூக வணிக தொழில்முனைவர் கலந்து சிறப்பித்த கருத்துக்களம் இடம்பெற கேட்டீர்கள்.